this place is home for real. So
You pulled the fire extinguisher and machete.
that night scared the crap out of me. And he was just looking around.
This place is
And he was like, you don't get this in the NFL.
10. I feel like we had a chip on our shoulder. Like, man, we're on the brink of really taking off here.
Flat screen TV on top of a flat screen TV with Christmas lights.
They're so much bigger than you. Are you sure you're okay to do this?
I'm thinking the building was on fire. We just lost our quarterback. Like, we done. We went to work, and, it wasn't easy, but we left it better than what we found it.
Home Team Barbecue is fired up to take care of your tailgate and watch party needs this season. Home Team is known for its smoked meats, creative daily specials, and twists on Southern classics. Smoked wings, ribs, pulled pork sliders, barbecue nachos, or classic sides like mac and cheese and collard greens are the perfect feast to fuel your game day. Round up your friends and give Home Team Catering a shout at catering@hometeambarbecue.com or head to 5 Points for a frozen game changer cocktail and barbecue snacks to celebrate the next Gamecock's big win. Visit hometeambarbecue.com to check out the menu. Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Steel Hand Brewing in Casey has you covered. Whether you're craving a refreshing craft beer or just a great time with friends and family, Steel Hands has it all. With a variety of craft beers, spacious outdoor beer gardens, and a delicious food menu, there's something for everyone. Plus, join them for free live music every Thursday through Sunday. Visit steelhandsbrewing.com to see their lineup of upcoming events or host your own. Handforce and Casey and voted best local brewery again this year. Go visit steelhandsbrewing.com.
All right, you carnivores, we got a new sponsor, JCQ Farms, located off 177 Saluda Bluff Road in Batesburg, South Carolina. Huge Gamecock family, folks. So they have grass-fed beef, pasture-raised pork, and they have absolutely no antibiotics, no hormones, and all of the animals are treated humanely. They also practice regenerative farming. Right now, their top sellers are tomahawk ribeyes, cowboy ribeyes, fillets, bacon, and this primal ground beef mixture. It's heart, liver, and beef mix. If you're going to get any sort of meat, get it from here, folks.
All right, tailgaters, we are here. Steven is out tearing up the golf course. How many birdies so far today?
I think 4 as of right now.
4 birdies through 4 holes, so almost a perfect score.
And some bush lights.
Yeah, we got a really fun interview this week. A very unique guest, a guy that we played with, that actually played in the Falcons with a little bit, but now currently the badass defensive line coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, Travian Robertson. So you talk a little bit about our relationship and all that, Stephen.
I mean, it was – you want to talk about an intense guy. I mean, that was unbelievable. Got a chance to hang out with him afterwards and kind of dive a little bit more in depth with, his upbringing and stuff. I mean, the guy's the salt of the earth, man. He's a hell of a coach. And, I mean, that was a pretty fun interview. Got a chance to tell some pretty interesting stories.
Yeah, he definitely scared the crap out of me when I was there my freshman year. And, I wish I could have been number 42 here, but I think I said it in the interview. He had more stars than I had, so he got 42, and then I got 47. But no, with spring ball going on, this is a great time to get Travian on, kind of spearhead football season and kind of get some excitement going. I know Coach Beamer's coaching those guys hard and getting them ready. Spring game is coming up. I think it's Good Friday, so it's right before Easter. So exciting time for Carolina fans to check out this episode. And guys, don't forget, we are on YouTube now, so you can see all this live footage. The episode we recorded was actually from the football ops building, from the team meeting room. So pretty cool setup. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things that you do on social media and YouTube and all the crazy stuff. Because that kind of helps us as we continue to grow this thing. So
yep.
Any final last words before you birdie out the next 14 holes?
I don't know. I'm about 120 out. About to take a little 60 degree and see what I can do here.
What, 60 degree from 120? What do you shave it down to like a pitching wedge?
I'm just trying to get my Uncle Chris DeMarco on right now, man.
Chris is short and sweet. Chris can't hit a driver 120 at this point. He's an old hack now.
Well, I got some liquid courage behind me, so.
I gotcha. All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed Travian Robertson this episode, and Steve, continue to go low, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
We are live here with Travian Robertson, class of 07. We're the number 4 recruiting class in the country.
Number four.
You guys helped that ranking. I might have been number 2 or 3 if we didn't have a measly 2-star hanging out there, but we had a hell of a time. We had a bunch of good dudes.
It feels weird not doing the cheers to start this thing off.
I know. I was looking forward to that. I saw everyone else at the,
We had a-
Saturday. Recruiting's over.
Yeah, where's the fridge at? I know there's a fridge out there somewhere.
Larry's probably got one.
Yeah, Larry may have one.
It was Matlock back in our day.
Yes, it was. But, I mean, times have changed from when we were over at the stadium in the home locker room, weight room. Our meeting rooms are tucked upstairs. Now you're in this beautiful facility back coaching here. Talk about kind of your time getting recruited to come here because you're from North Carolina. You
Right.
offers from everywhere.
I mean, it was crazy. Like I said, I give all that credit to Coach Long getting me here. My mom grew up in South Carolina. My dad grew up in North Carolina. So I was kind of adapted to, going to school in the state of North Carolina. And being recruited by Coach Long kind of reverted me over to this state. It was just a blessing of being here, playing here. When we got here, it wasn't all peaches and cream. It was like, hey,
6,
boys, we got some work to do.
Yeah.
And we went to work, and it wasn't easy, but we left it better than what we found it. That's all I try to tell my players now. This is a great place to take it in and learn a lot from it and leave it better than you found it.
How do you get much better than this, though?
Yeah,
I mean, this is better than almost every NFL facility.
No doubt. And that was the shocking thing, going to NFL facilities and then getting and coaching the time that I did and seeing like, man,
Turned out like a hot.
where was this at when we was in school? And then you see some NFL facilities like, man, I want to go back to college. I get, better. I get more comfortable and better treatment there, but it's amazing the transformation that this place have made in the last few years.
Well, I mean, you can even make more money in college than the NFL at this point.
No doubt.
Some of those guys we talked about last night, the guys taking a pay cut
No doubt.
to get to the NFL.
I remember distinctly the story of when my parents, we drove up from Orlando, dropped me off in Bates West, about to move in with Stephen.
Dates.
Yep.
Yeah, good in Bates. And we're good in the elevator, and you, Byron McKnight, and Clifton Gathers are on the elevator, and I get on with my parents. And you guys are all freaking 6'5", 250. I get on the elevator. I remember you weren't in the room yet, and we walked in our room, and Mom's like, "They're so much bigger than you. Are you sure you're okay to do this?" I'm like, "I think I'll be all right. I'm tough. I'm gritty."
I'll tell you what, it was definitely an eye-opening experience.
Oh my gosh.
Going from a high school to, I came in January, so I kind of adapted with the Brinkley brothers and the Lindsay twins and Sorensen's big ass. Like I remember, just 4 months ago, I was playing with freaking kids that were smaller than me, and now I'm like, Jesus, here's some big selling bitches.
Yeah, I remember when I got on campus. You're like, what number am I going to wear? I'm super excited about my jersey, so I wore 42 all through high school. And I'm like, yeah, there's really nobody with 42 already on the team, so I'm like, cool, I'll step in and wear 42. And I went to talk to Jamie Spiranis about my number, and you wanted 42 too, and he's like, "Pat, we love you." He had 4 stars, you had 2 stars. He gets first dibs on the numbers. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll take whatever else you guys got. Sort of 47.
That's a funny story. I never heard that.
We had another guy that had 42, and I didn't like it because he was like a special team. I forgot his name. He played.
He was like a walk-on
Mike Newton.
Newton.
That's walk-on DB, right?
Yeah, he's a coach now.
Yeah.
And man, every time he would run out, my mom was like, "Who in the world is the other guy with number 42?" She was like, "If I need them to get that number off." And it's crazy thing, Georgia game, no one knew when we went to Georgia, when Melvin ran it. No one knew, but I wore 64 the second half of the game.
Jersey rip or
Yes. So it's like crazy. My draft picture, that jersey is ripped, but that was the Georgia game. And then I was like, man, I ain't putting the jersey. They tried to sew it up. I was like, man, give me a new jersey.
Yeah, just let him go beat
Man,
something.
it's the only one with 64. So my mom got mad again. She was like, I thought you was hurt. And I said, no, I played the rest of the game. So
I didn't. I had no idea.
I was number 64.
Yeah. Were you on the punch shield when he ran that, or that was
No,
Byron
Jerry,
and Justice?
Yeah, I wasn't on there. I was on the sideline, but I'm glad he did.
Go, baby, go.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
But like, let's talk a little bit about kind of getting here. I mean, you were here before us.
No, I was here. We came in the same time.
Oh, y'all both came.
Yeah, came in the same time.
Yeah. So shoot, y'all talk about coming in with the older guys, and then
He had a slightly different experience than I did.
Yeah.
he didn't get in all the trouble.
He didn't get arrested the first month in his college.
That was one of my first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew that. It was a recruiting thing that happened. Some coach's name won't be announced, but but it was a recruiting thing that happened, and
Did what he needed to do.
and I came on campus first 2 weeks, same time, and I'm trying to work out. And he walked in. I said, "You can't work out." So, coach had been calling you and texting you illegally. I'm like, dang. So me and him both like, we not working out with the team. I don't know why he wasn't working out, but
You had a legit excuse.
yeah, I was
I
like,
wasn't allowed to.
yeah. So I'm like, man, like I came in early to get started early, but yeah, it was just some phone calls, some text messages that was,
Hey, I'm glad he did it.
yeah, and to me, it was unknown to me. I didn't know the rules, but yeah, first 2 weeks on campus, it was rough because I'm ready to get started and I didn't know the rules. I'm like, well, I'm not working out, so.
I mean, the rules have got to be significantly different now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, they changing every day, but long as we got good compliance, so they always keep us up with what's going on and, keeping us up to date with the rule change. But it's a lot different than what it was. And that's the blessing of seeing it on both sides, as a player, and then you get on the coach's side and we can see what changes have been made, so.
Yeah. Talk about some of there's a lot of talent when we got here. It wasn't like we were the class that turned it over. There's a lot of dudes before us that had leadership skills, that had talent. Talk about some of those older guys when we all came in that had influence on us and kind of catapulted this place.
We had a lot of guys that, like the Brinkley twins, Pepper, Norwood, E. Cook, all those guys. And I think those guys kind of brought the attitude of what Gamecock football was really about.
What's a physical?
They didn't let us slack, and we kind of had to keep up with those guys. And like Jared Cook played for a long time. All those guys played for a long time. It was just like, man, we wanted to respect them and what they've done when they was here. But we kind of brought the culture thing in. Like we was a different group that came from all different places. And, you had your Florida group, you had your Atlanta group, you had your North Carolina group. And we kind of came together as a bunch. It was like, hey, let's do this together because we got split talent all over, but let's do this together and let's go make a difference.
Yeah. I remember kind of when we all got here, our class, like doing the conditional workouts. I felt like there was an edge about our group of like, we were the number 4 class and we had like a confident swagger about us. So we came in and we're like,
Pete.
I don't care if you've been starting for 2, 3, 4 years, like,
Coming to kick
that ain't your job. I'm coming to get this.
I think that came from the coaches. The coaches they kind of told us like, "Hey, you guys coming in." I remember like, I'm bringing you in to play.
Yeah,
and we had the confidence coming in just from being recruited. The coaches told us the truth, and those coaches like Coach Beamer, he's on like those coaches like recruited us and all that. They told us the truth. And we believed them, and they believed in us, and we came in. We was rolling. We played a lot. We played a lot as freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. Mark Barnes, Jason Barnes, Chris Culliver. I mean,
all those guys.
Brian Maddox.
Yeah.
We had a lot of dudes. But we also, I remember Black Iron ran off. I think there was 2 guys in our class that quit before fall camp started. Matt Williams was a tight end who was in our class.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember he quit on the Lake when we did the Big 20. I ain't doing this anymore, and he walked out.
Yeah, Joe Hills. Remember Joe Hills?
Yep. He's still. I think he's still playing arena.
Really?
I think so.
He was a freak, man. Yeah. He had big ball skills.
So we had that game that we played in.
East,
was it East West?
Yeah, I still brag about that roster. That was
unbelievable.
6 of y'all on that. 5 or 6
Yeah,
on that team.
It was a story where, Carlos Dunlap.
He was committed to a.
The story of him and Cam Newton, I knew he was a quarterback, but I'm thinking Cam Newton is a DN. And so we get out of practice, and then I'm seeing Garcia throw the ball with Cam, and I'm like, okay, it's quarterback and tight end.
Yeah.
All right. All right, they got to get their relationship. So then all of a sudden, I'm seeing them two competing in practice. I'm like, hold on.
What's that one doing there for? Right?
That was my first time. We had some dudes, real dudes on that staff. And then we took a picture, on that team, we took a picture, and then we realized how many guys that was
I said
to the Gamecocks on that day. And I'm like, we was the most hated group. I don't know if you remember all week long. There was like the South Carolina, anything that happened, it's those guys that committed to South Carolina. It's those guys committed to South Carolina because we was just.
Trouble just seems to follow.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, turning heads, right? This was that y'all came in with the swagger. We all came in with the swagger that we wanted to go compete. I remember my official visit was December of my senior year, and Carlos was actually on the official visit with me. And I remember he's a freak. He ran track down in Charleston like a giant, but he was so disinterested. Because he had offers from everywhere in the country. It was like, this is another stop. I remember asking him, hey, dude, what was your favorite part of this visit? And he's like, this is pretty similar to all the ones I've been on. I'm just really excited to go back and play some video games at home. And I'm like, what? I was like, this was incredible. I'm signing up to come do this, and you're talking about playing video games.
Well, he was committed to us for
a little while,
and bamboozled us and went to Florida and had a decent career, I guess.
Now, do you? I would imagine Coach Spurrier was the same pitch that he gave to all of us. Was you could have went anywhere in the country and just been a part of another successful team, but come here, like our pitch was, come here and do something that's never been done. You're going to be remembered forever if you can come here and do what we say we're going to do.
That was his pitch to me. And, Byron McKnight was a part of it too. I'll never forget Spurrier called. I was playing games about committing. And he was like, you really want to play with your best friend? I was like, yeah. And he offered Byron a scholarship, and I was like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
When I see that you're a man of your word, and I'm like, okay, I could commit to you.
Yeah.
And so Spurrier gave me, let's do something that's never been done before. So
Byron's funny as hell, man.
Yeah.
Now a word from our sponsor, Tony Pope at State Farm. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights, we switch the TV channels, and some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony Pope, right here in South Carolina, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony Pope, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call at 843-851-2222 or visit TonyPope.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. We are proud to be sponsored by our buddies David Marshall and Shane Burrows and their law firm Lanier & Burrows. These guys are Gamecocks from undergrad through law school, and they bleed garnet and black. They practice all across South Carolina, helping people and families who have been injured or killed in car accidents, trucking accidents, work accidents, medical malpractice, nursing home negligence, basically any type of incident. Unfortunately, though, for Stephen, they don't really handle all that criminal stuff. If you or someone you know was injured, let Shane and David investigate it at no cost to you. They will get you answers and will let you know if they can help. They only get paid if they get you a recovery. Give Lanier & Burrows Law Firm a call at 803-268-9800. Gamecock fans, if you want to look your best, go swing by Granger Owings on Main Street or in the Trenton Plaza. Granger Owings strives to deliver the best-in-class customer service paired with the finest fashion. Their stylists truly cater to each customer, starting with a personalized consultation every time, and help each individual build a wardrobe based on their lifestyle needs, occasions, and preferences. At Granger Owings, you will find the latest from classic, up-and-coming, designer brands of clothing and shoes for men and women, from business attire to custom clothing to sportswear, weekend wear, and formal wear. They dress their customers for every occasion. Oh, let's talk about one of the more interesting creatures of our recruiting class. Let's talk a little bit about Clifton Yetters.
Cliff Gathers, so yeah. That was my roommate.
I mean, he was 6'7", 6'8", 290, 12-pack.
Yeah.
Pretty good genes. Did you have 3 brothers that played in the NFL? Like all 3 went to Georgia.
His whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, he played a little bit, didn't he?
He played 3-4 years.
Oh, he played longer than that. He played about 6 years.
Did he? Wow.
He is unbelievable. Like he'll send me Facebook messages like all the time, and he's like, "Hey man, come up here and we'll go deer hunting and this and that." He sends me like pictures of him just butchering deer. Like,
I'm glad I got in touch. This is a long time, like years ago, but I couldn't find him. He's not on social media.
The great foot.
And he just got on social media, and he's like, I forgot how to use social media. But Cliff, man, that dude had the biggest heart on the team.
He did.
Man, like I never like it's coming from high school and seeing different sides. Like knowing that he came in the same time, you'll think that this guy had been in college for 5 years.
It looked like he was 40.
Like his difference a monster, dog. Yeah. And like it's just we had some funny times with Cliff, man. Like he wasn't afraid to fight anybody. He'd fight you.
Do you guys remember I think it was the recruiting class right behind us? We were doing the Monday and 110s, which I think we started at 16. The test was 20, but they wanted to break in the class right behind us with a trim.
Yep.
And we went in, and Cliff didn't put his hand down or something, and made us restart. So we had to do 4 more. And Sorensen, do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember them.
And there was a lot of shit talking, and Sorensen giant, Clifton giant. Sorensen was fed up with having to run
6'6" versus 6'6",
and
5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. You're tired.
Yeah,
It's like, dude.
Let's get it.
But I don't think Sorensen knew he was going to get a haymaker out of him. I think he thought they were going to wrestle a little bit and let's just talk his ass. I mean, put his nose sideways. I remember because I was rooming with Reed and Trig.
Oh my God.
And we got in the car, we were driving back to the dorms, and they're like, "Oh my God, what just happened? I had no idea I was signing up for this." Like the 2 biggest guys on the team. I mean, Sorensen's nose was dead sideways, completely leaking.
He had to go. He had to get
rearranged. Yeah. Yeah, lots of those workouts were hell.
Yeah,
they were.
That changed. That had to be the difference. And just being in the business. I remember when we was in school, old heads just come at me. I don't do 2 days, 4 days, and now I'm the old head. But man, our workouts are not the same like it was, and we grew. That's when we grew. We grew together. We had some times in those workouts.
Was it T camp?
Yeah.
Never take a day off. Knew the shit would pay off.
Yeah,
it's like,
man.
shut up.
You never forget things like that. It's like,
and he's over there, Cliff's leaning on me.
20 years ago.
Off.
Well, I remember being in the bubble. Remember we were so greased up. We were calloused. We were ready to take off. And he's like, "Cool, we're going to put 20-pound vests on. Do this workout now." Yeah. And then, so we would do the agility, those little stations, and then we'd have to run 50 backs. Yep. And I remember we weren't allowed to leave the white. So you finish and you had to stay in the white. And it got to a point where we were dragging trash cans in because people were going to be puking. We're like,
who is it, Bobby Wallace? It would always,
whatever happens, as long as it happens in the white, you can puke as long as
you remember Bobby Wallace would come in. I mean, he'd still do the conditioning, but just reeked of 5 points.
Well, he would.
And just cigarettes.
I think we were all probably on the text chain with him of "Hey, somebody, it's 4 a.m. Somebody just dropped me off. I'm going to sleep outside the bubble. Can somebody grab my gear from the stadium and come bring it to me?" I mean, I know I had to do it probably once a week.
God. There was a couple of times I was out there with him. Coming in hot. Yeah.
But I think that was a part of our edge. It's we worked our ass off. We partied our ass off. We were a tight group, thick as wolves. But that allowed us on Saturday to take the field and have the confidence in each other. You might have been a knucklehead Sunday through Friday, but I knew what I was going to get on Saturday. It was a warrior mentality. It was win at all cost. And I think that was across the board, defensively, offensively. It was that same confidence.
Do you see it in the kids now? Kind of similar, how we had it. We had people at the house. We have pool parties and all shit together.
I think it's getting better. I think they was hungry to know what it was. They it was like, hey, we lifting, we running, we competing. What are we missing? Mm-hmm. And for me being around winning coaches, how it was when I was with the Falcons winning. We hung out with each other. I'm like, guys don't hang out with each other.
Yeah, piece of them.
And I told him, I said, I didn't feel that family culture from the players. Like when you come in from from the front office to everyone else in the building. Like, yeah, but I felt like the players, it was kind of hit or miss. Like, you got some guys that are a real close group, but as a whole, and then when they realize that all we got to do is hang out with each other and have a little adversity outside of football with each other, and that's going to take, like, yo, you're busting, you're running fast, you're lifting, you're doing everything everyone else is doing.
Yep.
But the only thing you're not doing is really
Building the camaraderie.
yeah. And that's what it was with Spurrier. I'll never forget him asking me, like, man, we are a very talented group. He was like, I won a championship with Duke. What is it going to take to win here? And I'm like, Coach, we got to keep those guys together. We got guys being bouncers at clubs, and we got guys like coming in, you know, breaking their arms just because I had to work last night. And I'm like, all we want to do is just be able to do it together on someone else's expense. We don't have no money.
Yep.
And once we started having, you know, parties together and doing stuff together, it was like, you know, we are bonded. So now I'm going to play hard for you no matter what, off the field or on the field.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we talked to Boogie and Luke about that on the very first episode of like the stuff that Coach Beamer has been instilling here, the whitewater rafting, the basketball competitions, going to the military base, like stuff like that. It might seem corny and for social media at times, but man, it digs deep when the players kind of realize, hey, I got to rely on him.
There was some tough challenges going there. I mean, it was tough. Like, I mean, me watching it, I'm like, y'all, you guys got to do this. Let's do it. It's cold. It's muddy. Let's go do it. And you got guys from all over the place. Like, man, I'm from the city. I don't do things in the woods. And,
Yeah, I'm a 5-star. I'm not supposed to be doing
yeah.
this. No,
Okay.
You're getting your ass.
And that was a difference. Like, guys actually had fun. Like, you got guys that you never thought of, like T.J. Sanders, Nick. And when those guys, like, I mean, I'm doing it.
buy in.
Yeah, like, that's when you saw the difference. So,
That was the most fun, is going over the place and doing the paintball.
Yeah, it's true.
God, that was fun as shit.
Yeah, put you right in your freaking element.
Oh, yeah. So out there, no shirt on, just
I think the guys was hungry to know, like, Coach, we heard the stories about what y'all was doing. We heard the things that was going on. What do we got to do? I'm like, get off your freaking phones and get out there and hang out with each other. Get off your video games. And
you hear that, Dakota? Get off your damn phones.
I mean, I remember when I came here and worked here for a year and a half, Parker White, kicker, was here for forever. And I remember he was sitting downstairs in the cafeteria and hanging out with all the specialists. And I was like, Parker, you've been here 6 years. Like, you should know everybody under the sun.
Right.
Like, do you hang out with the D-line, the O-line, the DBs? Do y'all, like, I mean, you should be like the ringleader of all this. You know everybody here in Columbia.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's really just me and the specialists. And like, that's where you're wrong, dude.
Yeah,
I know. You've been here forever. You know everybody. You're super connected. You should be lining stuff up. And like, he was the glue to our recruiting class. Like, I remember you, I mean, because you were a married man dang near as a freshman. We'd be having parties in our dorm.
quiet, y'all, man.
And you hear like, we'd hear the banging on the door. We're like, oh shit, it's Travian.
Man, y'all, oh man, those nights. Oh my God. And it got to the point I got used to it. And then it's so crazy.
There's an elevator. There's an elevator.
I got
rooms too.
I got a player now that I just signed. He texted me. He was like, these freaking fire alarms keep going off. I said, hey man, welcome to college, man. Get used to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, but those are the things that when you leave, you miss that. And I tell guys all the time, like, we sit there and we laugh, but I was like, man, if I had 2 more nights to just be in the dorm room again and act like a kid again, you know, because once you become a grown up and paying bills, man, you miss sitting in the dorm room and kicking it. But
all the bricks.
Yeah, man, the bricks.
We drove by, forgot where we were going, but I drove by and I showed Memphis. You know, I was like, that's where we used to live. He's like, that pink building?
Yep.
I was like, yep, a lot of shit with that.
I walked in at it, like when I first took the job, I drove. And I guess the students was just moving out, and the doors were still open. I took the elevator. I was like, oh, man, it's like a lot of things that came back.
I'll never forget. I mean, I don't know if you can we might have to edit this, but I remember you being on top of the parking garage with the water balloons.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Who are you with?
Me and Jonathan Williams.
Jonathan. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They're out there.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, we was getting it.
That's some of
There's
this
nothing wrong with that. I mean, shoot, you pulled the fire extinguisher and machete.
That night scared the crap out of me. Okay, I knew the fire alarm was going off, and I was like, let's go see it, just go back to sleep. Because, you know, the fire department make everybody get out. I was like, man, I'm not getting out. Let it go off eventually. And then one time, this one, it's not going off. And I'm like, and I open the door, and I'm like, the building is on fire. Like, we got to get out of here. Like, all I see is just, it's cloudy, and I'm like, oh my God, we got to get out. Like, this is the first time I can't see nothing.
Well, I had no idea that I've never shot a fire extinguisher off.
Oh, man.
It's fun.
But I remember like Clark was messing with me. I was cooking like something and he kept like pointing at me. I was like, dude, stop pointing that shit at me. So he ends up, he was bombed. So he goes out in the hallway and just starts pissing. So I get it. I was like, all right, you want to play games? So I just did a little squirt, a little pinch like that, little pull trigger, and it just
spreads.
I'm like, oh shit.
And we like, it's like that, my room, the elevator, and y'all room. And I walk out, I'm like, I was like, we gotta go.
I'm down for this.
We gotta go.
So.
And I started calling you because I'm like, man, can we get him? Somebody get him. Cause like, I'm thinking the building is on fire. We just lost our quarterback. Like, we done. But then when I got down there, I was like, oh, it's just a fire stand. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, I remember talking to the woman that was a firefighter. She's like, yeah, how did this happen? I was like, yeah, I was cooking something.
Didn't you leave?
I admitted to it. She's like,
but after you admitted, did you leave or something? Because they couldn't find you for a while because I had to call him.
Yeah, I was down there.
I don't know what I did.
Okay, well,
I remember she's like, why are you telling me that you did it? I was like,
because I did it.
I was like, is it illegal? Like, are you gonna arrest me? What the hell's going on? Yeah, then that was my last week on campus there.
Yeah, that was the trick.
Yeah,
Just get enough trouble, and
that was it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I was like, man,
you would have done freshman off campus.
I was like,
off campus.
Yeah,
Oh.
I got off campus. Like,
I would have did that the first night.
No shit.
Do you guys remember Jameer Williams, Worm?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Worm.
Yeah.
He was snug. He was a video gamer. Remember he watched wrestling in his room all the time.
Yeah.
I remember our fridge was stocked with every type of alcohol it could possibly have. He got in like sneakily. Nobody thought he drank. He started coming in our room and stealing Smirnoffs.
Oh shit.
And he would come in our room and take a Smirnoff and then go back out and like I'd hear the door open and shut and like, well, what's going on? And I remember like I bought a 12-pack of Smirnoff and it was in the corner. And like the next night there's only like 7 in there. I'm like, like Steve, did you drink them? Like Zach, did you drink? Like, who's drinking? I ended up finding out
it was freaking Worm. That's so funny.
Y'all room was more like the room that you would see, the college dorm room that you would see on a movie.
The movies. Oh yeah.
Like I walk in there, it's like a flat screen TV on top of a flat screen TV with Christmas lights. Well, you walk in my room, it look like I'm married, I was like, this is what they doing. Yeah. Smelling good,
Well, we had the black lights. We had the beer pong table that was spray painted.
Yep. Yokota. The Yokota. Yep.
Oh, we had a lot of good memories. Let's talk about, obviously 10 winning the East and kind of like, we were good. We were never really, our first 3 years, we started 6-1. We lost 5 in a row, missed a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Second year, we were 6 or 7-5, made a bowl game, went to
Birmingham.
I was Birmingham.
Or was that Birmingham or
Birmingham, Papa John's Bowl?
Yeah, got our teeth kicked in by UConn.
Yep.
And then the following year, 9, I think we were 6-6 or 7-5. Went down to Tampa, played Iowa in the Outback. But 10, I feel like we had a chip on our shoulder. We're like, man, we're on the brink of like really taking off here. We ended up going 9-3, went down in the swamp to win the SEC East. Mm-hmm. First time ever in school history, played in the SEC championship, beat Clemson up at Clemson. Like, let's talk about kind of that year and what the takeoff was. Because like we knew we had talent. Obviously, Marcus came in. We had some talented guys in that recruiting class. But like, what do y'all think it was?
I think it was very similar to, for me on this side. It was very similar to our past season, the 2024 season. I think like we felt like we got all the pieces together. But we just couldn't get over that hump, whatever it was. And we had a great quarterback, great running back. Mm-hmm. O-line just got it together. D-line was good. DBs, everybody, we got great receivers. Everything was there. And I don't know what it was. It was just, to me, as you look back, because all of us remember moments for the games we lost. And I'm like, man, what was it? Like, we was good, when we had it. And I just felt like it was just a competition. We was going against some other good teams. You go back and watch the Florida documentary. We could have had our own, like at the rate we was going. But I was just like, we was going against some really good teams too, some really good players, and it was just the SEC competition.
The ball has to bounce your way and this game.
Yeah.
So even
even the baseball guys were talking about that yesterday. Like the ball just kept bouncing their ways, and in 2012 it bounced the other way, and that's just
But
how
what's so
life is.
unique about it is this past season, and a lot of guys have come up to me and said they heard about it. Like it made me feel good about it because we got these guys that's like, man, we're gonna be better than y'all. And I'm like, man, y'all, I said, no, you're not. Like, I hope so because I'm coaching, but like we was good, and I'm like, we had, and that team, our last team was really good. But I'm like, hey, you win more games than we are, and you do that you got us. But
I'll talk about it.
yeah, and but the fact that they was reaching for that made me feel even better. Like we
Different.
we set the tone of what Carolina football is really, and give thanks to everybody that done it before us. But to have these guys like, hey, we want to be like that squad.
I think it's a huge piece to having Coach Beamer, who was here during those years, Sean Elliott, Trainer Clint. Like, there's people that are in this building currently now that experience that, know what it was like to win here, know what Columbia's like, and can kind of.
And that's why I said I give thanks to Coach Beamer, man, because I always dreamed about when I get into coaching, everyone will go back to the same school, but the fact that during the time that he brought me back, it was like perfect time. And then the staff that he put together around me to help me grow, I'm like, man, he know what he's doing. He putting a good staff together. And I was the first, I don't know if I was the first one to test him. As soon as he hired Coach Elliott, I'm like, oh my God, like we about to get real close. Yes. He was a big changing point for me as a player. He didn't even coach me. But when he came to our program, I'm like, we shifted a little bit, he took the talent and then he took some guys that was less talented. And I'm like, you think about Corey Robertson and what Coach Elliott did for Corey Robertson. Yeah. And I'm like, guys like that, I'm like, okay, I know what he's about to do to this program. So I was very excited when Coach Beamer hired Coach Elliott because I seen what he done and I knew what we was going to be.
Like anybody, you got to have an edge up front.
Yeah.
You have to have that demeanor, that dog, and that's there, but like kind of having a guy that's coming that coached here and did that in that room.
He hasn't changed, man.
No.
And for me, if I say he's changed, I told him he got soft, you know what I'm saying? But
He told him that.
I thought it was like, you got soft.
Something like you punched.
But yeah, he brought that fire, and me coaching, he's blessed me to start my coaching career to him, and just to follow him as a leader, as a head coach. I'm like, okay, and you kind of pull pointers. I got things that I'm pulling from Coach Beamer, and I want to be a head coach one day. So, Coach Beamer, Coach Elliott, and all those guys, they paving the way.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. Do you take a lot of your coaching techniques from Coach Lawton?
Coach Lawton, yeah, like Coach Lawton, Brian Cox, yeah. So, and Coach Lawton was a heavy mentor. Like before he passed away, I called him like 3 times a week, and that's how it was very blessed. Like, when he passed away, it was just like the start. No one knows. Like when I got into coaching, he called me. He was like, "I can get you into a high school." Boom, I'm calling. I'm like, "I don't like this high school." He was like, "Well, go work for Coach Elliott." And I'm like, "All right." And then I'm calling him. I was like, "Hey, I want to work for South Carolina." Coach Beamer got there, and he was like, "Call him." I'm like, "No, you call him for me." Come on, no, let's Coach Beamer. Like you call him for me. He was like, "No, call him. He knows you are." And I called him, and Beamer was honest, And then the next year comes, I'm like, Coach Lauren, like, I want to go for Coach Beamer. He was like, look, don't bark at that tree no more. He said, Coach Beamer will call you. And I'm like, he said, just work and be where your feet are and get your guys better. I'm like, okay. So I stopped calling Coach Beamer. And then I'll be dogged the next year, Coach Beamer called me. And I was like, if what? For Coach Lauren?
Trusting the process.
Yeah, it's just like, be where you are. And so when I get the job here, I'm calling him like, Coach, like, tell me what I need to do. He was like, well, Travian, he said, just get the guys to play fast. That's all they told him.
Just go be, he said, he knew who you were.
I said, get the guys to play fast. Because he did this twice here.
Yeah.
A D-line coach, and, so I'm like, you here? I'm here. Let me bounce some ideas off of you. And I'm like, get up here. Let's do some clinics. And he was like, I'm not going to bother you. And it was that one week Clint had told me, he said, I seen Coach Lauren up here, came and get a ball. And I called him, I was like, you ain't come to see me, like, right? He said, I'm not bothering you while you're working. I was like, well, come up here and see me. Next week he passed away. And so, but I was very fortunate enough to, and it was crazy because I clinic with him in the spring when I got the job for Tulane. We went over. He taught me a lot of stuff. I shot over here, talked to Coach Beamer. The next year, Coach Beamer hired me. So it was like, to me, everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I take a lot from Coach Lauren because You know, we was good D line. We was a really good D line, and I'm like, what? You know, I'm in your shoes. What? Give me. He was like, just give them to practice hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you get them to practice hard, they'll play hard. Mm-hmm. And he said, coach like you got rocks in your shoes every day. Mm-hmm. And
I'll tell you, I got some funny coach line stories that coming out of Greens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I got my handles in the box, and he's like, "The f are you doing?
Yeah.
You're the quarterback. You can't be. Get your buddies or something.
Yeah, somebody do it."
And I was like, "Okay." I'm already here now, so I'm just gonna put it in.
What do you want me to do? You take it for me?
Yeah, he believed in me as a young freshman. And, you know, he offered me when I was nobody, you know. But yeah, all my stuff comes from him, honestly. And I cleaned with Ed Orgeron. You know, I had some great coaches, Brian Cox, Ray Hamilton in the league, but you know, as far as who we are technique wise and what we do up front, I got to give it all to Coach Lauren.
All right, boys and girls, it's March Madness time. It's arguably the best time of the sports year. So no other place better than our new sponsor, Underdogs Fantasy. I mean, daily fantasy. You can go higher, lower on points scored, points per game, the whole operation. Use code Tailgate Talks for up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's kind of a no-brainer. Why the hell would you not do it? So, Pat, who you got winning the March Madness?
Oh boy, I like.
Have you filled the bracket out?
I did two. I took Auburn to win it in one, and then Alabama to win it in the other. So I'm a state of Alabama fan.
I got Duke winning one, and I got Kentucky. I take Kentucky every year. Kentucky win another one. So let's see what happens. But yeah, use Tailgate Talks as the code for Underdogs Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. There's no better time than the sports freaking year to do it right now.
Listen up, Gamecock Nation. Meet your new favorite streamer, Deputy Smitty. A former police officer and diehard South Carolina Gamecock fan, Deputy Smitty brings action-packed content to life every night on Twitch starting at 9:30 p.m. Connect with him on social media by searching Deputy Smitty and join his growing community on Discord at discord.gg/Deputy Smitty. So grab a drink and catch the thrills, laughs, and plenty of Gamecock pride in every stream.
What's up, Gamecock fans? When you're getting ready to cheer on the Garnet and Black, get fired up with White Hot Cinnamon Whiskey out of Hollow Creek Distillery. With only 3 all-natural ingredients and 1/3 less sugar than other similar brands, is sure to be a touchdown at your next tailgate. Ask for White Hot Cinnamon Whiskey at your favorite spirits provider, and be sure to visit their award-winning Hollow Creek Distillery over in Leesville, South Carolina. Go Gamecocks.
Talk a little bit about your time in the NFL. You were a 6th-round pick?
7th-round
pick to Atlanta. We spent 2 years together in Atlanta. Talk about kind of going from, I mean, especially up front on the defensive line, going from playing in the SEC to playing in the NFL.
Yep.
And then kind of through that transitioning and getting into coaching.
Yeah. So getting into the league, man, I never thought I would even get drafted. I thought, you know, and Falcons gave me a draft pick, but it was a fight. It was a fight. The first, you know, 7th-round pick is almost undrafted free agent. So
it's like right there on the brain.
I physically fight, you know, my way. And my breakthrough came from the vets. You know, I knew I had to respect the vets like John Babineau and Corey Peters and all those guys. So when
John Abraham
was there too.
1 year
so those guys, they knew. You know, John Abraham knew I was from Carolina. He took me on his wings, and once I respected them, they showed me the way. And I said I stole those years because, you know, it was a fight, dog. It was a fight for me week in, week out. And 2 years was business. My 3rd year, I felt like that was my breakthrough year. And that was when the business part of it really hit me. Like, man, it don't matter how good you are, you can get cut. And it was going through my last camp. I was like, I got to get it. Like, I think that's when you first got in, and had a really good camp, really fist fighting my way through.
I remember in the indoor, the guy busted, he beat the snot.
Yeah, I was going through a lot, man. You know, my wife was pregnant again. We lost a child, and I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my football. And I'll never forget Brian Cox and them. It was like, you fight for your football life. So, but what kind of boosted it was the GM was like, he'd come to practice, and he was like, it's dead in here. Like, you know,
set this thing on.
Yeah. And we know who it was. And I'll never forget the center. He like gave me a push at late, and I was like, all right. we started fighting.
It's on.
Then from there, it was like we do some half line drills, and I'm like, man, I can't get hurt because if I get hurt, I'm done. And O-line, the coach, he's hyping the guys up. You better not let them get you. I go to double team dribble, he high-low me. I'm sorry, all right, dog, it's on. And I had these big padded gloves on. I'll never forget. I took his helmet off and I clocked him in his eye. And then I was just like I blacked out. And then Coach Smith walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, man, can you go apologize?" I said, "Coach, I'm not. I just punched this dude in his eye. I'm not gonna walk up to him like, hey, man, I'm sorry for putting you in the eye."
Garden deal.
And so he was like, "This is work." He kind of explained the business. He was like, "This is work. Like, you affected his job. You punching him in his face affected. You can get sued." And I'm like, "Oh, like I gotta be careful." He was like, you know, even though this is football, like if he want to, he can sue you because you affected him. He can't see now. And he said that
Them up.
So ever since then, I'm like, I'm gonna get respected, but I gotta be careful, you know. And Brian Cox comes, he's just saying, he's like,
Oh my gosh.
you know, if you, just Google Brian Cox, you'll find out who he is. But
When he was
he tells, and like Mike Smith just says, look, no more fighting. If I see you fighting, you done. Brian Cox comes in. If one D-line fight, we all fight. And I'm like,
Psycho.
here we go. Like,
Yeah.
and so we got a joint practice with Tennessee, and fight starts out, and you see Brian Cox. He's, hey, one fight, we all fight. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm not fighting.
I ain't getting sued.
Remember Joe Hawley?
Yeah,
He was our
that's
center.
That's what I got into a lot.
Same thing. We had that. It was the exact same joint practice with the Titans, and Mike Smith was like,
He got on a fight day.
if you fight, you're out.
You out, yeah.
And it was like the first day. And like, there's an edge about joint practices, but it's also like you kind of dread it because you're practicing with these guys for 2 to 3 days.
Then you got to go play them.
Then you got to go play them.
Yeah.
And so Joe Hawley, first rep of inside drill 9-on-7. I mean, he told us before practice, he's like, I'm throwing a punch first play. Said like, it's 1,000 degrees on that field. I don't want to practice against these guys all the time. Like, I don't care what happens. I'm throwing a punch first play.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
But he could do that. He's a starting center.
and then he just like as he's walking back, he turns and just boom, melee. Somebody brawl breaks out,
And he said, "You're."
and they kick him, and
You
he's
see
like,
him running across the field.
he's like, peace, man.
Yeah, you see him run across the field.
He's like
I'll never
dancing
forget.
as he's running in the locker room.
Never forget.
Oh
That's
man.
funny.
So, but I mean, you mentioned that, like, you said you were going through stuff. Like, you never know what people are
No
going
doubt,
through.
no doubt. And and that's the thing about football, man. It taught me so much of how to stay balanced.
Controlled aggression.
Yeah.
Because we out here in the game, and it's different on this field. But when you get out there in the real world, it's like I can't,
You can't just go march your shit.
I can't go spear someone, I can't tackle someone, and so.
It's true.
But it teaches you that you're gonna face adversity, and the ultimate goal is, like you said, I got to get home to my family.
Yeah.
I got to win.
That's all anybody
wants
wants
today. So, that's what taught me a lot of lessons of just take it slow, man. Learn, soak it all in, but ultimate goal, get home to your family.
I mean, I remember coming up here, not to change the subject, but coming up here and hearing you coaching the D lineman up, just barking at him. And I was like, oh shit, that's Travian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go say what's up. And he's like, he's like coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to. I was like, man.
Yeah, I mean, he opened the door, and I'm like, just open this door, like and that's why I take it serious. I give them kids my all because I know what their dreams are. I know, and I don't want to shortcut them at all. I want them to get the most out of it, is it whether they're going to the league or whether they're playing this, because I know what we went through, and I know it's like, man, it's some happy times in this thing, man. I don't want y'all to enjoy that. I want y'all to feel that. And so, but while we in this business of football, I'm gonna give you all my all as coaches. I want you to develop. I want you to see yourself develop. And I don't care who you are, walk on, whatever. If you're in my room, you're gonna get coached.
Yep.
You're gonna get coached. So
Talk a little bit about, like, I mean, in order to be a coach at this level, home life has to be spot on because you're away a lot, you're traveling a lot. Talk about your wife, Kiki, your 3 boys, like, brag on them a little bit because
she's a trooper, man. She's the backbone of the family, honestly. I was a little nervous about getting in coaching because of, from the family, you know.
Mhm.
It's just like, hey, we had some long talks, and I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna do this financially, you got to understand what's going on. Timing, you got to know what's going on, because recruiting, I'm not gonna be here.
Yep.
And so she was like, hey, I followed you when you was in the league. I knew you was over. Yeah, so she was like, go ahead on. And I'm like, okay. And when I got her support, it was like, I can go ahead and dive in. And
That doesn't seem like very long of a conversation.
no, it wasn't. She understood, but then I'm like, it's gonna be some ups and downs that you may not understand.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah,
That's
and
what we're signing up for.
the first and the kids was like, they was all on board. They was young, but now they getting older, and now there's a lot to think about now. TJ starting high school, and so she has it, man. And again, talking to Coach Lauren, I asked him, I said, what do I have to do? He said, the best thing to do, man, he said, for me and my wife is always keep her involved. Let her know what's going on. Things will go smooth. And I promise you, just taking that note from him has made things a lot easier.
And I think Spurrier did a lot of that when he was head coach. I remember seeing those guys, like Matlock, the equipment guys, all the coaches, their wives, they all had, you know, what was it like family night on Wednesdays or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what the thing, Coach Beamer, what I want to get to for him is he have kids. He has sons, you know, my age too. And, you know, you never know what staff you're going to get on until you get on it. Sometimes coaches, you know, grind you and you ain't going to ever see your family. But I promise you with Coach Beamer, man, it's like I'm at my son's practice. I'm able to go do things with my family, and we have them up here all the time. So we have 3 family dinners a week.
Yeah.
And
that's so cool.
And I love it because my kids, they run up here. You see everyone kids up here. So other places not like that. I mean, other places you go to, it's like, you know,
All business.
yes, you're never going to see them. So
I think it's so cool. You're walking through the coaches' kind of offices, and you see a picture of all their family with all the wives' names, the kids' names. So like everybody truly gets to know each other.
So that's what makes it hard to leave. You know, you can get job offers, you can get placed, but it has to make sense for not just you and your career, but it has to make sense for you and your family. And so when you get a job at your university and you can go see your family and they understand how this business is, it like this place is home for real. So
all right, 3 boys, ages, sports they're playing.
All T's. 3 boys. You know, I had TJ my senior. TJ's turning 14 this year. He's going to high school. He's doing 7-on-7 and starting track right now. Trent is
line.
Yeah. So I think he's gonna he wants to play football. He loves it. But he's more of an athletic, you know, side like mom. And Trent and Tristan, they're more. I think Tristan's gonna be the lineman. I don't know what Trent gonna be. Trent loves football. He loves football. I don't know what he's gonna be, but Trent turns 9 this year. He's 7-on-7 right now, and Tristan turns 8 this year. He's doing
Tristan's big.
Yeah, he's the youngest.
So I coached Trent during flag football over here with the YMCA, and I remember having TJ. Like we had a pretty good talented group of boys, and they were like feeling themselves a little bit. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna humble you guys real quick. I'm like, TJ, he was there with Tiki. I'm like, come on over here real quick. You're the ball carrier. I'm going to put 2 of you 7-year-olds. You're going against this 12-year-old. Good luck with you guys. And I was like, TJ, you got to stay in between these cones. He's like, Coach, I got this. I'm good. And he made these boys look like full, but we ended up like kind of teaching vice tackle. Don't let them split you. Don't let them get outside of you. And like, he was a lot of growth in the younger boys.
Well, this is a question for both of y'all. What age would you put your sons into tackle football?
I just started this past year.
With TJ?
No, TJ started, I'm talking about my youngest. TJ started 2 years ago when we first moved here. We was in New Orleans, and it was kind of a little shock for him. It just wasn't a good program. And we got here, we put him in it with his middle school. And I thought that was good. I think it depends on what state you're in, honestly.
Depends on the
Coach program. And
I think the state of Georgia, their football is like fast for the younger kids. They got more coaches. It hasn't been too many programs that I've trust to put them in at a young age. So I kind of
you can get hurt.
Yeah, I kind of wait until they get to middle school, and but Georgia has those programs where you can put them pads on at a young age. You trust them. But New Orleans, I didn't trust those guys.
I started playing in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 8 years old,
Yeah.
which is Weston's age now.
But you still had old school coaches coaching, younger kids.
Right.
Well, and there's also, I mean, I grew up in Orlando. Florida's a big football sport,
yeah.
but you played under the high school that you were playing under. So we were in triple option.
Yeah.
We were running triple option in third, fourth grade.
Yeah.
Read the
Same program.
Free
Same
technique,
program.
he crashes. Now
I feel like you're getting developed at the age. So
yeah. I would say, like, I'll probably wait. Weston will probably be 2 years out until tackle football. We're doing flag, and like I'm coaching this flag football.
Yeah.
I'm teaching them leverage. You keep your outside arm and leg free. Like, we're not like we're playing like mini tackle football, flag football. Like, I'm teaching them use your hands, be physical.
Could you imagine
Like,
your boys playing for Pat?
right.
well, I'm like, hey, quarterback, like, we're gonna get an extra blocker, so we're gonna pitch it. Running back, delay a second.
Hey, I'm gonna email you a spreadsheet of the
Quarterback,
He playing football. He had his board out there. He had him going. He had him going.
quarterback getting front, lead blocking. I'm getting the fullback out of a quarterback. My quarterbacks are big.
That's all I hope for. Like with my kids, just making sure, like whatever sport they're playing, I want a coach developer. I don't want them to just be out there feeling like they're just a part of something.
I don't care how athletic you are. I want you to learn the sport.
Right.
Something.
and I feel like a lot of youth coaches don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, they can use sports. I mean, we've talked a lot about it, but it's so sport specific. People are going to now, like baseball here in Columbia is like king. I mean, there's kids are playing year round travel baseball at the age of 7.
Yeah.
7 to 8. I mean, go play flag football, go play church league basketball, go play track and field, go do all these other sports. Make sure you're doing your, your sport specific training, but also like just your true athletic development. Work on your speed, explosiveness, and that type of stuff.
What other sports did you play?
I played basketball. That was about it.
So you could play basketball with your freaking traps all the way up here to your ears.
Yeah, I was I was the basketball player. I was like, hey, we got 5 fouls.
Yeah, I'm gonna use all.
I'm gonna use all. I'm gonna use all of those. So, and I ended up quitting basketball and focusing straight on football. But basketball, growing up in North Carolina, basketball was my first love.
When did you stop playing basketball?
Sophomore year in high school. So
I mean, that's
when I started focusing. That's when I started getting recruited for football.
Yeah.
Knew that was going to be, but
take it.
it's not that I stopped doing other sports. I stopped doing basketball and baseball because those were very time consuming. I did track and
we ran track. We was required to do track just to come out for football. He would not. Coach Barnes would not allow us to even participate in football workouts unless we did track. But we did it. With basketball, we was finishing up football and going straight to the gym. I realized that when I went to Duke and North Carolina basketball game, J.J. Redick was 6'4", handling that rock at the point, and I'm like, man, I'm 6'4" right now. I'm playing.
I can't shoot right now.
So
He's pulling up.
Freaking half court.
but yeah,
But I mean, that's pretty much what everybody said. I mean, even the baseball guys said that they played multiple sports growing up.
There's so many skills that you're learning, whether it's handoff, foot quickness, like learning how to jump and land. And
I tell guys to run track, man. You want to play any sport, you got to learn how to run. You know, I see some guys, they can hit the crap out of you, but they can't lift. They can't do a knee drop to say they lied.
was DJ Swearinger slow feet don't eat?
Oh, yeah, man. DJ, the swag, that class, man, that class, I was very looking forward to that class to really,
Stefan, Devontae, DJ,
that class was special.
and then we went on to kind of, we kind of laid the foundation. They kind of blew that shit out of the water.
I was, because, we was kind of like, we could see what these guys are doing, and I was like, man, like DJ, what? And I'm like, what happened? Like, y'all had it, like, what happened? And it was like the next class behind us, they fell off. And so it's like when you got something going like that as a culture, you got to figure out how to keep it going from year in and year out.
I don't think it helps when Coach Furr was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be here next year."
Yeah.
And then Coach Sweeney and all the other coaches like, you guys see, Carolina's done.
Yeah.
Their coach is going to be retiring. So
yeah, and that was a change. That it was shocking, but that's a business. It's a business part. And man, if we could have saw Coach Furr for a few more years with some of these talent that came through, I'm like, it was some first rounders came through here.
Somebody else we haven't talked about yet who was quite interesting was Lottie Ajuba. And Lottie was in her recruiting class. Lottie, talk about bad body Lottie.
what is
This is crazy because Lottie was so special of a player.
He was so twitchy.
That a lot of people don't know who Lottie is, but he was a special D lineman. When I say special, He was twitchy, but we all know the other special. But Lottie was he was different, man. It's like you like the things that he went through, and like, all right, and he go out there and he'll freaking get tackles for loss and change the game in a minute.
Oh yeah.
And so he was the guy that, you know, he didn't care what you go through, just come out here and play ball and you can have some fun in college.
Yeah.
But
His,
him and Cliff together was funny, man.
Oh, man. The tattoo that he had on his forearm, was it Winnie the Pooh smoking?
Oh, yeah.
I never.
It's like, man, our Atlanta crew was different.
What did he do on his exit speech? Didn't he take a shit in the trash can? on the practice field, did he do that?
Probably I would, but
all right, so yeah,
it was something. It was something like that.
Lottie, man, forgive me, Lottie. But yeah, Lottie was special, man. He didn't carry, you know. I was in the mix of that, believe it or not. It was Byron McKnight, Lottie Algebra, and me, and we all wanted to use the bathroom. And Byron was sitting down first, and Lottie was like, "Man, hurry up! I gotta use the bathroom." And Byron was like, "Man, I'm taking my time, man." Everybody trying to skip part of practice, right? So it was a trash can, and Lottie was like, "Man, I'm on the trash can, dog." And so it was crazy. It was the day that the day that Coach Spurrier always let the seniors speak.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And so we huddle up and so hey, we're gonna let the seniors speak. And Lottie was, "I'm gonna miss this place, man. And yo, Matlock, I just wanna let you know, man, I just took a crap in a trash can over there. You might wanna go." And so that's like, those are the moments that Lottie, like, he didn't care. Like, if it was the news people there, he was gonna say it. Like, but Lottie was special, man. I miss Lottie. I run into him every now and then. We talk.
Is he in Columbia?
Nah, he's in Atlanta still. Yeah. He's in Atlanta.
He was up here 3 years ago for a practice. I remember connected with him. Lottie he's one of a kind.
Yeah, man. He was.
We had a lot of one of a kind guys.
Oh yeah.
But I think all of us together.
Yeah.
Is what made it work. Yep.
Yeah. So Lottie was cool, man. And Lottie, every now and then, you gotta be careful. Lottie, he'll bring up some stuff on Facebook and just like reminiscing and just, you remember what happened? And Lottie's like,
yeah. Married with kids, man. Like, we're adults. Can't be talking about that kind of stuff.
Well, talk a little bit about your room last year and some of the talented guys you guys had, guys that have been here for a while and they meant to the program, and kind of what you think expectations for them at the next level.
Yeah, you know, coming in, these guys like TJ, I can only speak for some guys, but you know, TJ Sanders, Tonka Hemingway, Boogie, Nick, all those guys. It's like special because most of these guys from the state of South Carolina, and going through the process of having the opportunity to transfer and those guys that say, you know, I want to come back and finish what I started. Mm-hmm. That was like special because some people like, man, I'm gone.
Right.
And they did it and they believed in themselves and they said they wanted to do it. And so I think those guys are going to be prepared because they was professionals doing it here. Mm-hmm. And they weren't perfect, you know. They had some growing pains that they had to overcome, and I think that prepared them more for the NFL. I think them coming back an extra year to say, I want to do it here to South Carolina, really show what Coach Beamer is about and what he's building here. And those guys believed in him, and they trusted us as coaches to come back and do it. So I'm ready to see these guys like, you know, Nick and Tonk and all those guys do good.
I feel like there's something to that about coming back and like leaving your legacy too.
Yeah.
It's a big piece like in the transfer portal world now of like, you know, I'm going to stick it out through and through. I started it. I'm going to.
We think about it all the time. It's big for your future. Look, for me, example, like if I was in a transfer deal and I did 2 years at South Carolina and I said, hey, I want to transfer and go to Oregon somewhere and whoever.
Kind of wasting your 2 years.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting a coach and hey, coach, can I come back, coach? Well, no, you didn't finish at South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And so.
You don't forget.
Yeah, so that's why it's for like guy like Boogie, like and TJ, you know, your NFL career is going to be up and you can come back to South Carolina.
The network of Gamecock Nation too.
Yeah. And so, you know, you find like I married my wife from here. Like a lot of things special happen from where you go to school at. So those guys, they're always welcome to come back here. We always want them to come back here. and Coach Beamer showed them that, this is home. And so
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Coach Beamer's, he'll text me, man, when are you coming back?
Yes,
Come on up and, whatever. And I don't remember the previous coaching staff doing that.
I remember when I was in Atlanta, you might have been there still. Were you there with DQ one year?
Yeah. No. I was with DQ. I think I was with DQ with Seattle. But
so DQ was the head coach. I think it was 15, and Muschamp was there at a practice. And I had just finished a really good year in 14, was there 15, and Muschamp was there, and DQ grabbed me. He's like, hey, Will Muschamp will be here. I kind of told him we have a couple of Gamecocks. I want to connect him with you. Just like, you're about all the right stuff. Right. He's a guy I've known from his time in Florida. And he's like, I'll hang out after practice. I'm going to connect you with him. And I was like, cool. Yeah, I would love to connect with him and talk with him. Practice went by. I hung out on the field for 20 minutes. Didn't see him. Went in the locker room and I texted DQ. I'm like, hey, still hanging out. Let me know if Will wants to connect. Hang out in the locker room. Nothing.
Wow.
And I'm like, kind of told me all I needed to know about Will Muschamp. I kind of wrote him off after that. I spent an hour of my time where I could have been trainer room, nutrition, weight room, but I wanted to commit to my university and the head coach that was there.
Yeah.
That shit wouldn't happen with Coach Beamer.
No.
I promise you.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I was nervous to call or text Coach Beamer about the job, but I still got voicemails where he called me back, So that's what I think those guys need to know how important it is just to have this going on right now.
Right.
A lot of people can't do that now, and it's important to me to let guys know that I'm recruiting, to let guys know that, hey, this is a place that you can create some lifetime memories at, and guys come back and I remember it was an A&M game, and just to have Melvin come back, Connor Shaw, we had another reunion. I'm like, and I saw Melvin. He was just looking around, and Melvin played 10, 14 years in the league, and he was just looking around, and he was like, you don't get this in the NFL. And I'm like, dude, you're a first round pick. I play ball, but I'm like, and that was real. That was not fake. That was real. He was just in a moment, you don't this environment you don't get in the NFL. But a lot of people don't get to come home. A lot of people are knocking on their doors. Beamer is just, hey, come and see what we're doing. I want you to be a part of every moment that we're having. I want you to, because you actually helped build this too. And so that was part. And for him to allow me to come out and coach the D-line here, the place that I played, and it's the moments we're creating here. And I'm like, a lot of people kill for these moments. They'll die to have these moments. And I don't take it for granted. I don't.
All that is honestly one of the main reasons why Steve and I wanted to build this thing, so we could have guys like you, Connor Shaw, guys that experienced Carolina, went on to do really cool stuff afterwards, and highlight what this university and the relationships that we created in this time meant. That's
100%.
That is why, we know you on a deeper level, but I learned a lot about you just in this conversation. I learned a lot about, Melvin, DJ, all these other guys. We spent a lot of time together, but I didn't really necessarily know their upbringing, know some of the stuff they went through, because we kind of hold all that stuff back. But that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, it was. But that's the thing about the game of football. You can come from all over the place. Everybody got different backgrounds, and
one common goal.
We come into a locker room, man. We just huge family trying to get to that W, man.
Yep.
And I was like, the world got all this crazy stuff going on. You could escape all that.
And if the world was like a locker room, the world was like a football team,
yes, man,
we'd be in a much better place.
I thought our locker room was good, man. We had some fun.
We faced some adversity and shit went off the wire sometimes in the locker room, but at the end of the day, arms around each other. Yeah. We all love each other. We're going to go to battle again tomorrow.
Yep. Get in a fight and, whip their ass, pick them back up, and all right, let's go.
Yeah.
We got a game in
a couple of days. We partying together after a big fight in the locker room. We did a lot of good things. I remember one game, I think ECU game.
That was in Charlotte.
Yeah, and you broke out. Was it second half we started you?
Yep.
No, it was second quarter, I think. Or maybe it was the second half. Shit, I don't know.
We was down. I don't know. We was getting our butt kicked, but I knew. You remember Dominique Franks said that. Not Franks, but Dominique that played at East Carolina court.
Oh, yeah, corner.
And I was like, Dominique, he was a quarterback, and I said, what was y'all thinking in halftime? he said, we was in there celebrating. He said, y'all brought Garcia out. And we was getting our butts kicked.
Yep.
And that just shows that, like, man, we got your back. Whatever going through, we got your back. We put them in. Whoever's in the quarterback, we're going to get behind them. We're going to roll. And, like, from there, I was like, it don't matter who we put up there. We're going to be all right. Yeah, we're going to be all right. So when you can feel that, you can notice it. And I felt that through this team that I was just with last year. It was one moment, like, it was no moment in the year where I was like, okay, this stuff. We had some other stuff we had to overcome with the refs and bull crap, but as far as player-wise, it reminded me of our group we had when we was coming out. So, and like you said, the recipes and the coaches, we knew what it takes. Got Coach Beamer, got Coach Elliott, got me, got all these other coaches that won previous places. So,
well, I feel like it's a mindset, and I know it's a big thing with Coach White is put the ball down.
Yeah,
I don't care what happens. Put the ball down. Hey,
we faced those moments a lot this year. Put the ball down. And we had more complimentary football this year. Offense was doing, running the ball and keeping us on, getting our rest. And we had a lot of takeaways. And so
3-phase game too for that team.
Yeah. And so we had our moments on defense. Offense had their moments, but it's football. And I'm looking forward to this young group. Lenoris is the face of Columbia, is the face of South Carolina. He is South Carolina quarterback, and I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do these next few years. And we got Dylan Stewart that's kicking butt on defense. We got all these young guys coming in, these receivers. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to developing these guys and pushing for.
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Over under was like 4.5 win projected.
Yeah.
This past year, and
blew that shit out of the water.
Yeah. It was good too. It was
chip on the shoulder.
Yeah. Because we heard a noise, but these walls, man.
Silence, man.
And the leader is Coach Beamer. We all believed in him, and he worked his butt off. Like, I respect these head coaches style because they got a lot of responsibility. And with the NIL and the portal and all this, and I'm like, yeah, Beamer, you became a head coach at a crazy time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
kidding.
Like, and more power to you, and to just, yeah, man, because his dad was a legend, and I was fine with him, and we was asking, like, what do your dad think about college football right now? And a lot of things it's just keep it football. Like, you don't talk, so you don't mention NIL to him because he couldn't wrap his head around it. But to have you, Coach Beamer, coming up under your dad and the things that he believed in, you got to adapt to, the portal, recruiting this guy, and then the next year he may leave you, leave, but he's handling it well, and he's gonna do whatever for these players.
He's building a hell of a culture.
I'm excited he'll be here through 2030.
Yes.
Just got an extension what he's done in the 5 years that he's been here.
I didn't realize he had that many haters. I'm gonna say it, and that lets me know he doing something right. Like, there's a lot of people that hate on you, and I'm like, when you become a head coach, people ain't gonna like you. You have people that do like you, but it's a lot of people that don't like Coach Beamer.
Yeah,
but that lets you know he's doing something right. He's accomplished things that other people can't accomplish.
So it was funny. We had Coach Tanner, Ray Tanner, on Thursday night, and he's like, as a coach, you had that one day off. So if you won, people loved you. If you lost, people hated you. Next day, it's it's recycle. He's like, as the AD, every day someone's bitching and complaining. Every day.
Yeah.
The question team's pissed off, even though you just beat Clemson in football.
Yep.
There's always somebody complaining.
And I'm sure Beamer gets that.
Oh, that's
And I feel bad sometimes. It's like, when we lose, he gets it, and it could have been my fault, but they own him, and our fans, they're the greatest, but they're outspoken. So
it's a way, because we had the success, 10, 11, 12, 13, they got a taste of it. The expectations was set, and that's the beauty of him being here, is that he knows what to get there. And we talked to him. He was our second guest about there's going to be hills and valleys on the climb to success.
Yep.
So it's been really cool to see what he's done in 5 years. And then what's ahead is, I think, is pretty special, especially with the staff you guys got, with the players you guys got. It's an exciting time to be in Columbia, South Carolina.
It is. So I'm looking forward to it, man. We're off the road recruiting now, and Coach Beamer, Beamer ball is South Carolina. So he's made his history, and he's going to be known as one of the best coaches around here. And I'm looking forward for the next 5 years. I'm glad. And when his
Saw Coach Spurrier that.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I was fortunate enough to play under Coach Spurrier. I'm very blessed to coach on a Beamer. But if Spurrier was here to coach, then
Same feelings. Right?
yeah. And so, but Coach
Whoever's in
Beamer-
charge here, we got their back regardless.
Yeah. So, but it's good to me that it's a guy that was understaffed while we was doing what we was doing.
Yep.
And it was just like, man, it doesn't get no better than that. And I wouldn't want to come back to Carolina. I shouldn't say this, but I would rather come back with somebody I'm familiar with than you coming under a new guy that never, like, Coach Beamer is South Carolina. They know what it is.
I mean, even when he was he was texting, I don't know if he texted you, but I'm sure he texted everybody, but he's like, hey man, it'd be really helpful if you can post on social media about the other job. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, you still have an 803 number? Like,
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool when I was playing. Like he would text me, "Hey, huge game, man! That block you made on 4th and 1, like that was the play that
He's
made
still
the game."
following, yeah.
Like was paying attention to detail like that. It was really impressive. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. I mean, he hit you with all that stuff. He's intentional. I wonder why.
It's one thing he pays attention.
Yep.
He has a memory that as coaching with him, I realize he doesn't forget much, and he remembers a lot. And that's good.
That's good and bad sometimes.
Yeah. So you remember when you said something in coaching now. I remember you said you was gonna do this now. You better make sure you do it. But like I said, it's been a blessing being back things happen for a reason. I'm glad I was part of it, and it was right time, and then we still got some work to do. And I want to get that championship, man.
I think you'll get it, man.
Yeah. So
What area are you recruiting at?
We kind of all over. I got North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. But when we come to Florida, we kind of like spot recruiting, position recruiting. So my main areas is Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida.
You ever getting to Tampa, man? Holler at me.
I get some D tackles down there, man. That will be the only thing that pulled me that way. But I'm down there. I was in Sarasota and Fort Myers not too long ago, so I'm not focused.
That's exactly nice.
Yeah. It's a little southern, or a little south of mine, but
We're excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Finally got you on, man.
I know, man.
Made it work.
I know. I was like, we got to do it because you never know this coaching thing. I never got to get you off. So, but this is it worked out perfect. Yesterday was our last day off the road, so I'm glad we were able to do it.
Let's go grab a beer.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Beer 30?
Yeah. I got time. I got some time.
Shit, let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.